Welcome back to the first ever Whatever podcast. And I'm your host, Tommy NC 2010. And I just have a friend of mine on here today. He had to step away. He had to get himself a cup of coffee. He had to get himself a cup of coffee. So I'm just chilling here. I just went live because I wanted to. I was bored. I had nothing to do. I gotta say, doing that podcast with Keemstar was definitely interesting. I had a great time doing the podcast. I was definitely nervous. And like for all my viewers that tune in and people that are here, I appreciate you that have still been around supporting me since day one. And just been hanging out. Hopefully we are live. Really? I don't even know if we're live right now. Like I can't tell. Okay, yes, we are live. I apologize about that, folks. Ladies
Yep.
and ladies and gentlemen, folks, joining me today is Foulmouth Ken from the Foulmouth Network. How are you doing there today, Ken?
Hey yo!
How you been, Ken, during this crisis, during these times of insanity?
Horrible.
Terrible?
It's been horrible, man.
Really?
Yeah, it's been really weird for the last 3 months or whatever, man. It's just
So
really weird stuff.
you've been out of work for 3 months, am I right?
Well, probably about like month and a half. I've been out of work.
I bet that should have been because you're a working man. That's.
I've worked steady, right? I've worked steady since 1996. And the job that I just got like laid off from because of the COVID, I've been working that job for 23 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I haven't really, the most I've taken off every year since I've been working is like 1 week out of the year I take off. And being home for the last month and a half, almost 2 months, it's been insane.
Jeez. Yeah, I just became essential recently. I went back to my job and of
That's
course
good.
I went on quarantine for a little bit and then I recently just came back to my job, so I've just been doing that.
I heard Keemstar talking to you about like, hey, you're a social butterfly, Tommy. This must be killing you not to be out there and about, talking to people and stuff. And I'm like, Keemstar, you must not really follow Tommy that much because Tommy didn't really skip a beat. You were out doing your own thing regardless, man.
Well, yeah,
But with that said, it's also because of the area you live in. It's not really affected that much at all.
yeah, not really. The only people I hang out with is, Hamza, Ashley, and my friend Live. That's not a big bubble of people that I hang out with.
Yeah.
And I'm not going in big crowds of people at all. Like it's just a small crowds of people.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you're doing your occasional TikTok and stuff like that. Yeah. But it's
Yeah,
that, listen, you're in a different area where it's really not affecting your life that much. So it's like, what are you supposed to do? Go run and hide because everybody else is? No, you got to live your life regardless.
you know.
And you got lucky enough that you're in an area that is not affected by it really. So you're very lucky, in that sense.
I might have misspoken, but I actually Hamza told me there was one case in Black Mountain, but it was at the Super 8 hotel. But there was just one case here of one person that had COVID, but everything else is
That's
what?
Super 8 Hotel. I said that's Super 8 Hotel by you, man. That's scuzzy. I ain't ever going there.
Well, there is another hotel near me that you can stay at if you do come here, Ken.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I can.
funny. That hotel is nice. They let me stay there for $50 one night.
Is the name of the hotel the COVID Inn?
No,
Welcome to the COVID-19 Inn.
COVID
Just come right.
19 in where you have
Yeah,
holes in your lungs and you cough all day.
make you feel right at home. We have our own ventilators. We'll hook you up.
Yeah, well, we have masks, but don't worry, you already have COVID, so you don't need a mask. You just goodbye. It's not gonna look good for you. I'm sorry, kid.
Exactly.
I tell you
So
what,
anyway,
it was I was gonna go live, but I decided to pre-record that episode. Like, it was definitely interesting to do another podcast with him.
yeah, it was. You know what? I'm happy that you got to do that, and you probably interact with him a lot more down the line here. Because I've heard like what's going on, and I know that he's being really cool to you, man. Which is, I don't know, like it seems like weird, but it's cool. I'm happy for you that he's not being like he was a couple of years ago. You know what I mean?
I mean, some people have been saying that he's just trying to like manipulate me to get to H3, but I don't think so. I don't think he's trying to manipulate me to get to H3.
Well, listen, obviously, obviously, Keemstar has been known to do some grimy shit in the past, right? But this time around, it's like, when you said to me, I'm going to tell Keemstar about the situation with H3 about how he snubbed you, and he wouldn't, give you an opportunity to do that interview with him. And when you told me that, I thought to myself, like, yeah, Keemstar's not going to care about that. But then when you mentioned it to him and hear his reaction, it was like, oh shit, like, yeah, he is interested in that. Like, I didn't think he'd be interested in that, but so it goes to show you, like, he really, he is trying to. I mean, it's obvious what he's getting out of it.
And I have proof, by the way. I have proof. I have a DM piece of footage that I'm holding on to that I might release. I don't know. I'm debating on it. Like, I don't know if it's worth it.
I mentioned that on my show the other night, that Tommy still got some ammunition back there that, and maybe that's why, Keemstar's, I don't know.
Some people say that, Tommy, you shouldn't attack H3. He helped you back in 2016. Well, here's what H3 did. He made the video.
You're not attacking him, though. You're not attacking him. You're just saying the guy snubbed me. He was supposed to do a podcast with me or let me interview him. And he just never spoke to me again. But when I was being bullied or whatever the case was going on, I was okay to talk to then when I was a trending news topic. But now that I'm not a trending news topic, a guy like H3 wouldn't even give you the decency to return a message to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he never like volunteered, asked me if I ever wanted to fly out to LA to do his podcast.
How dare he not fly you to LA, set you up in a nice hotel? Hell's wrong with this guy, man?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I went out to LA once, but like I don't think I messaged him. I kind of had forgotten about H3 lived out there. But the thing is that with that situation, I wasn't really talking with Ethan at all. I was just kind of focusing on myself and just doing Tosh.0. I hung out with Wet Movie 1 and the Fluffy Gamer when I went out there, and they're my friends. I don't care about relevancy. They're my friends, and like, honestly, I'm just happy to know who they are.
They're your friends?
Yeah, they're my friends. Like, I've met them in person, and
you speak to them?
Yeah, I speak to them. I have both their phone numbers. I talk with them on a daily basis.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, at some point, the boys are going to come out and see me at some point if they ever get the money.
Who?
Wet Movie 1 and Wet Movie 1 and the Fluffy Gamer.
Oh, okay. And I never seen the Fluffy Gamer. I know who the other guy is, though.
Well, he's pretty chill. He talks about video games, and he is the Fluffy Gamer at YouTube.
Well, you just mentioned video games.
What do you mean, video games?
I don't want to get in trouble.
I'm not going to get in trouble. By the
All
way,
right.
folks, I asked Ken to be on this podcast with me today, so I had nothing else to do. So I said, Ken, what are you doing? He's like, I'm doing nothing. And I'm like, well, okay, just come. Let's do a podcast. Let's do a random podcast today.
Yep.
But, yeah, it's what is your prediction of where this fight is going to go between Keemstar and Ethan? Where do you think it's going to go?
Well, I don't think they'll ever get to the point where they're going to box each other because I just think like Ethan's a pussy and wouldn't do it. Sorry for saying that, but I just think he wouldn't do it. So I think the ending result is going to be, it's just going to be like every other feud that's on YouTube. It'll just probably fade away after a while, and people will forget about it after a while. Not unless they come up with some way to make some entertainment out of it and come together and do something that would benefit everybody who's watching and benefit some type of, some type of nonprofit organization and give the money to people that need it. I would say that would be a great thing and end it that way. But like I said, the guy Ethan and really Keemstar, and Keemstar admitted this while he was talking to you on the show you did with him. They're both of them are very vindictive and very, you know what I mean? Very snaky and slithery, right? And we know a couple of people like that, and people like that, it's like, that people like that, they don't want to do anything for anybody but themselves. They want to benefit themselves. So if nothing benefits either one of these guys, they ain't going to do anything. You know what I mean? I think it just comes down to they're the same person, really. I don't know why Ethan attacked Keemstar because he's basically the same person, minus a couple of incidents. Well, you know what I mean?
I did say that Keemstar, he was a commentary channel. I don't know if he was insulted by that or not, but
Well, I mean, that's what he is, though, right? That's what he is. I mean, like, he says he gives, he reports the news and the drama news, all the drama and shit on YouTube, but in reality, it's just commenting on other people's shit, just like a lot of us do. So it's like.
And he just happens to have a bigger audience than some other people. He has, over the years, he has built up an audience, and, he has built a profession of, I would say one of the funniest episodes he ever did, in my opinion, where he was talking about the streamer, and she was doing something like hot, and he does this gesture, like his was hitting the, but he used his fist and he hit the bottom of his desk, like his was hitting the desk. That made me laugh so hard.
He's got a buffalo in his pants.
Oops.
But anyway, yeah. So I think it'll just fade away like everything else. Huh? What? Hello?
Sorry, my headphones unplugged. Could you hear anything I was saying?
Yeah, I heard what you said.
Yeah, if my headphones are not plugged directly in,
Let me guess, you can't.
Can't hear anything. And plus, I just broke my headphones, so now my headphones are just dangling on my head until I can get some new headphones.
Well, you always got something dangling from your head.
Ha ha ha! You're hilarious.
But yeah, so I think it'll just fade away like everything else. It's like you called him a commentary channel, and it looked like he got a little bent from that because he thinks he's like, I guess he really considers himself like a news network. You know what I mean? And
I don't want to, as I said, I'm forgiving Keemstar for some of the stuff that he has said about me in the past. I do.
Dude, I mean, listen, let's talk about this for a second here because nobody's really brought this up, but like when he was talking to you, did he forget the whole history that you guys had together? Because it sounded like he either forgot the history between you two or he just didn't want to remember it and bring it up because he said to you, "Oh, Tommy, I was just kidding around that whole time with you. You know that was a joke and I was just kidding around, right?" And you were like, "What?" Like, kind of like, "What do you mean you were kidding around?" The guy blocked you for almost 2 years. Was that a joke that he blocked you for 2 years? Was that like a funny thing that, the guy...
I will admit this. I do get on people's nerves occasionally when I message people.
I know that. Tommy, me and you have this issue like once a week. You call me, you say something, you get on my nerves, or I get on your nerves. We argue about it, whatever. Yeah, we get on each other's nerves. I get that. But here he is sitting with you on an interview and basically telling you, oh, it was all fake, bro. We never had no beef or anything like that between each other. But yet he blocked you for 2 years. So like he doesn't even remember this, or he's forgetting about it on purpose, which was weird to me when you were interviewing him. And nobody really brought that up. And it just shows you like the caliber of like him. Either he forgot, which is crazy that he would forget the things he did to you when you guys came together a couple of years ago, or he knows it was so fucked up, some of the shit he was doing to you. Sorry for cursing. He knows it was messed up, a lot of the stuff that he was doing to you, that he specifically left it out on purpose, and acted like, oh, I don't even remember what happened. My mind, slips me my memory. I remember what happened. I remember that you were bent for a year and a half, basically like, why is this guy blocking me? Like, what did I do to him? Kind of like with the Hulk Hogan thing. Like, why did Hulk Hogan block you out of nowhere? I don't know. How could he find you annoying? I don't know. But he did. He blocked you from.
He has tons of hateful. Hogan has tons of hateful people that come after him. And I made one little tweet.
Dude.
I don't know if you saw that tweet. What that tweet was to him. But
What was the tweet? What did he say?
Well, apparently the tweet was about eggs or something like that. Hogan took a picture of broken eggs, and I said something about, oh, the Hulkster's coming down to break the eggs, and I don't know.
And that's all you said?
Apparently, and then that was like for
He
flames.
blocked you? Oh my God!
The funny thing is, when I found that out, I actually tried to call his management. I tried to call both of his beat shops.
I know. I remember you telling me that. I'm like, Tommy, like, what are you going to do? You're calling his manager over being blocked on Twitter. Like, come on.
I don't know. I'm one of the most. I try to be positive here on YouTube. I'm one of the most. I try to be nice. I like anybody could tell you, I'm one of the most nicest dudes around.
But dude, you know the deal. Not everyone is going to like you. Unfortunately, there's always going to be people out there that, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, they're just not going to like you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nah.
And it's just the way it is, man. It's like, it's just the way it is. It's very hard to be unique and different and all that stuff and have everybody like you. It's almost impossible. So can't blame yourself, But bottom line is, Keemstar blocked you for almost 2 years and acted like, he never said all these things to you. And even the point where he said to you, hey, Tommy, I hope you didn't take offense to what I said in the latest video I did with you in it, where I referred to you as the autistic boy. And I heard him basically apologizing to you for that. And I thought to myself, well, goddamn, that's a different Keemstar, because the Keemstar that I remember that was originally, intertwining himself with you was like, oh, I don't give a shit what you think of me. I don't care what I say. I don't care what I do. And used to just shit on you all the time. And now here he is worried about your feelings about him saying autistic boy. So either this has rocked Keemstar to his core that he's acting differently, or he's trying to play everybody like we don't know who he really is. And it's one or the other. He either legitimately changed, or he's just putting this big act on that he's Mr. Nice Guy now, And let me put it to you this way. Let me put it to you this way. That will change somebody. Being accused of having to do with somebody's suicide, that even if he doesn't have anything to do with it, and he had no influence on Etika killing himself, even if he didn't have no influence at all with that, that will still change who you are. So maybe this dude has changed for the better. I don't know. Or maybe it's a big act. But it's one of the two.
The thing is, I never brought up Etika. That I never brought up Etika. Keemstar brought it up. And I was like, I didn't want to go into Etika. I just said something about Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And he brought up the subject about Etika. And he said he really didn't want to talk about it. And I said, I understand that. I didn't really bring up Etika at all. Like, I just, I think sometimes certain, I don't know how I would feel if I knew.
I guarantee you regrets a lot of stuff, bro, because this guy, he could tell you that he was friends with this guy behind the scenes. He could show you the screenshots of his mother sending him DMs saying, I don't blame you at all for what happened with my son and all this stuff. He could show you everything. But the fact of the matter is, I guarantee you that if Keemstar is being honest and sat there and was honest with you, I bet you there's a lot of things that he would have taken back that he's done over the years to a lot of people, especially to Etika. You know?
Yeah.
And maybe he has changed. I hope maybe he has, man. Maybe he's not that guy that he was a couple of years ago. That this like brutal, spineless, ruthless, attack dog. You know what I mean? Maybe he now is, someone different. Maybe this changed him. I don't really know, but I'll tell you this. What I do know is, he lost his sponsor. He lost.
Well, what it sounds like is Keemstar volunteered to lose his sponsor. Like he called the company and said, "Hey, I'm in a rivalry right now with this guy named H3, and he's making a bunch of dirt on me. I don't want you guys to have me."
Tommy,
what?
This is what I gotta say. He. Listen, if you believe that, I got a bridge I could sell you right down the block from my house, all right? Because there's no way he said, hey, guys, listen, you're taking a lot of heat. I want to pull out of this sponsorship. Bullshit, okay? These people know who Keemstar is.
Language, Ken.
I could say bullshit. It's a grown-up word, bro. They say shit on wrestling, so relax. But anyway, he's a grown-ass man, correct? So he's sitting there telling you that he called up a sponsor and told them, oh, you're taking so much heat that I got to back out of this sponsorship with you. That's not true, okay? Because they know who Keemstar is. They've dealt with Keemstar for years. G Fuel is connected to Keemstar from day one. They've been like a sponsor of his through everything, through all the stuff he went through with Leafy, all the wars that he went through with people, all the horrible things and things that he's done, doxing people, all kinds of stuff. G Fuel was right there by his side the whole entire time. Now, out of nowhere, he pulls out of a deal with them. I highly doubt he called and pulled out of that deal with them. Okay, I highly doubt that. So he could say whatever he wants, but the bottom line is he lost the sponsorship. Whether he got rid of it or they got rid of him, the bottom line is he lost the sponsorship over this. Yeah. And so apparently did H3. So apparently he lost the sponsorship as well. So it's weird.
This is an endless war. It's a heated war. And yesterday I checked on Twitter and he asked, hey, do you want me to do a regular drama alert or do you want me to do another video on H3 on Ethan? And I tweeted at him. I said, just be Keemstar. Just talk about drama. Just talk about the news. Like, just be that.
Yeah, but he's reporting about his own drama. You know what I mean? So it's like, should he be reporting on his own drama? Yeah, I think he should, man. Should he make the whole entire episode about H3? No, just do drama alert. And if the situation is, main topic, then yeah, talk about it for a little. I mean, like, why not? Nobody's got anything to hide, right? So what the hell? Can I say hell? Am I allowed to say hell?
Thank you so much for the $2 donation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Bubby. Thank you. That's going right into the Denny's fund. Thank you so much for that.
Ha, ha, ha. You're funny, Ken.
Now, what's up with this 15-year-old looking haircut you got? It looks like it should be on the head of a 15-year-old. Come on.
My mom gave me that haircut, okay?
Yeah, all right. She's not cutting your hair when you're 15, all right? You're a grown-ass 30-something-year-old man, right? Come on.
I'm 29. I'm not 30 yet. Stop trying. I hate how everybody's doing this, trying to say that I'm 30 already. I'm 29 right now.
Well, you're basically 30. Just deal with it.
Come on. What's what? Everyone wants to speed up my age.
Getting old. Don't worry about it. Just deal with it, all right? How do you think I like being 42 years old? 42? You think I like being 42? Tommy, can you hear this?
No, I can't.
Did you hear that?
No, I couldn't hear that.
Oh, that sucks. All right.
Yeah, because
I played some.
Ken, you got your own show. You got the Foul Mouth Network. You've been doing that for a while.
Yeah, I keep making foul mouth. Wrong decisions all the time there, and I said that I'm going to be doing a new podcast on our Patreon, which is going to be like kind of like a retro type of show where we talk about like, retro movies and wrestling and sports and that type of stuff. And I said that I was doing it with the professional wrestler, Famous B. And I got reamed out a little bit on Twitter because I didn't realize that, a mutual friend of ours did a show with this guy 2 days before. So it's like, no matter what I do, I can't make the right move. I always offend somebody. But, I'm to the point now where I'm like, you know what?
You know what I say, Ken? You know what I honestly do? I just say, you know what? I'm my own person, and I do what I want when I want. And if I want to do a podcast with somebody that somebody else is working with, I'm just going to do it anyway. I don't care about stepping on feet. I'm just going to do the podcast when I want to do the podcast and who I want to do the podcast with.
I got news for you. That is where I'm at now. So I'm basically at the point now where I'm like, hey, listen, if you think I'm copying you, I don't care. If people think I'm copying somebody, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway now. Now I'm going to do it. Now I'm going to copy. Now I'm going to do the same thing on purpose. So that's where I'm at now. We'll see who does it better.
Now, Ken, have you ever wanted to do like wrestling commentary? Have you ever thought about getting into that?
Dude, I've done commentary my entire life. I've done from baseball to hockey I've done so much commentary work. It's not even funny. And I like fell away from it and stopped doing it for the longest time. I stopped doing a lot of things that I used to do out of respect to people that I was friends with. But like, how long can you do that for? It's like, you got to be yourself and do what you do. And if it's presumed as copying somebody or, then so be it, so be it. As long as you have fun and people are having fun and they're entertained, then you know what? Who cares what people say? Who gives a shit?
Hey,
Sorry
Ken,
for cursing.
I gotta say something. You know what I gotta say to you?
What? What does that mean?
Your phone vibrated. I'm joking with you.
I'm pulling you right now on your show.
Just a second, Ken. Hold on.
Exactly, man. Exactly. I got to agree with what somebody said in that chat, man. Catherine or Kathy. Tommy, are you there? Hello?
Sorry about that, Ken. That was my mom that just called me.
Oh, okay. Everything good?
Go get some headphones. We're gonna try to get some headphones.
James Worley did it. Listen, I got to agree with what was said in the chat. Like, there is no such thing as an original idea anymore, and she's damn right. And it's like, do what you like and make it your own. Yes, everybody's done everything. Okay, everybody's done everything. It's really hard to come up with original stuff, right? It's almost impossible. If you come up with something original, then man, you are a smart and talented person. If you don't and you're doing things that other people have done already, right? Well, then you got to put your mark on it, like she said.
For instance, I'll give credit where credit's due. I got the idea for a documentary from what's his name? He's a big YouTuber, Shane Dawson. I got the idea for a documentary from Shane Dawson. Like, that's where I got.
Tommy Gunn. Hey, Tommy Gunn, you want to fight with me, Tommy Gunn? Hey, hey, Rocky 19 coming out.
Rocky 19.
What? On June. No, but yeah, there's no original ideas no more, Tommy. Come on, you know that. It's very hard to fucking... Oh, my God, I just cursed. Sorry.
There goes my God, monetization.
Bleep it. Bleep it, Tommy.
Bleep!
I'm sorry.
Bleep!
I'm trying so hard not to curse for you, buddy. I'm trying very hard. You know that.
You like, and the thing is, even with Keemstar, like I can't control him either. Like I like there was multiple times he was swearing, and I'm just like, oh, I know he's Keemstar, and I can't just be like,
I understand you don't like cursing. You come from a family that like, you know, they shun on cursing. They don't like cursing, right? I get that. And I know people like that too. I had cousins that weren't allowed to curse, and then when I would go in front of them, I would say all these curse words to them, and they would start dying laughing, bro. Like they would laugh so hard when I would do the curse words in front of them because they never really hear it, you know? But I understand it. But you also got to understand this too. I know you don't like cursing. I know you don't do it. But basically, I mean, you do when you're on other people's shows. But I know you don't really like to curse that much. But you got to understand, yeah, all right, cursing is an easy way to, like, you know, my God, you all right?
I sneezed.
Cursing is an easy way to, like, make a joke or make something funny by saying the F word or, you know, and it's easy to throw that in there and blah, blah, blah. But it's also grown-up talk, man, in a way. You know, when people are together and they're just talking to each other, sometimes curse words come out, man. You know what I mean? Especially people that, you know.
Well, that show Tiny Toons, you know, Foul Mouth. I was watching that show. I said, "Wait a second." I'm like, "Foul Mouth." I'm like, "That's where Ken got that idea." But then you told me that you've already had that idea.
What?
You remember that?
What do you mean?
On the show Tiny Toons, they had an episode. They had this guy called Foul Mouth. That's his name. And
oh, really? I didn't even know that.
Every time he talks, he's a what is it? He is he's a chicken.
He's a chicken?
Yeah, he's a chicken. And every time he talks, he swears. And they bleep it out. They bleep out his swearing.
You got the COVID, bro?
Why?
Do you got the COVID?
No, I don't have the COVID.
You got the COVID in you. And when I dun,
Ken, have you been watching my recent TikToks recently?
No. What's going on? What's with the no, I haven't seen it. What did you do in the latest one?
I did one, the Harvey Two-Face one from the Batman Forever, which I do like that Two-Face in my opinion, but honestly, I do like the Two-Face from the Dark Knight. I thought that one was more detailed, but I feel like we didn't get.
You know, somebody just sent me a message and said H3H3 is trying to call Tommy's Skype.
Well, if H3 is actually trying to call my Skype, he should actually DM me on Twitter. That's the only way I'll believe it's him.
I think they said, wait, let me read this. Hold on. Yeah, go on Twitter, they're saying. I got numerous messages saying H3 is trying to contact you on Twitter.
I don't see anything. I don't see anything.
Are you checking it?
Yeah, I'm checking my DMs. It would have popped up. I don't know.
This ain't a person that would troll me. This ain't a person that would troll me, but I don't know, man. Just check. No,
I'm checking Twitter, and
find out the Gorilla Strong too, who's out there. He thought of a great idea with the retro type podcast. You know, you don't really hear about that type of stuff, like where you just discuss like all retro stuff, like retro gaming, you know, retro movies, you know, stuff like that.
Nope. You Ethan hasn't contacted me, by the way. I just checked, I just checked his DM. My last DM to him was about Trisha Paytas.
All right. Then the person's messing around. Whatever.
Yeah, Ethan doesn't. Well, here's the thing. Ethan doesn't care about me. He thinks I'm. You know.
Joe Rogan's trying to contact you, Tommy, on MySpace.
Yeah. Keemstar is trying to contact me on Instagram.
He's trying to contact you on AOL. He wants to contact you on what was that called again? That thing back in the day.
Dial up.
It was like Facebook.
I think it was Facebook, and then it was MySpace.
Yeah, MySpace, and something else was out back then. I forgot the name of it. It was kind of like.
Well, that was the only social media website that I got on when I first stepped on the internet was my MySpace, and my MySpace is not even my name.
Tommy, Joe Rogan wants you as his co-host. Just called. Yo, you know Joe Rogan dated my sister. You know that?
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Jeez.
He dated her for a couple of months, and then he came over to our house, and he was sitting on the couch, and my dog jumped up, and he was petting my dog, and the dog started licking him, and he literally like let the dog lick the inside of his mouth.
Ew.
And my sister was like, "Oh my God, did you like?" I heard her talking to my mother and saying, "Did you see what he did with the dog? It was fucking gross." Like, and she broke up with him like a day or two later. And I was like, 20 years later, I'm like, "You stupid fuck! Like, you should have married that fucking guy, man. You should have not cared if a fucking. I'm sorry. You should have married him 10 times over. You should have friggin' locked him up." But unfortunately, she did. He was doing comedy locally. He was playing the local comedy places out here.
Yeah.
Like Governor's. Look up these places if you want. Governor's Pub, and I forgot the name of the other one. It's Governor's Pub, and I forgot the name of the other one. But there's two big comedy clubs out here that every single comic that has made it in the business has played these clubs. Like, you don't make it unless you play these clubs. And Joe Rogan just started getting into these clubs, and he wasn't a headliner. He was like one of the newest people. And my sister went to a comedy show, and he was on stage, and he saw my sister out in the crowd, and he like sent her a letter or whatever, or a note or whatever. And after the show, he like had drinks with her and stuff, and they hung out, and they started dating, and they dated for like 2 months.
Jeez, and just because a dog licked the inside of his mouth, that she broke up.
Well, that wasn't the only reason. There was I guess she wasn't really attracted, or whatever the case may be, but she didn't really. I don't know.
I
But
guess
then, like,
your sister made a mistake. I guess your sister made a mistake.
dude, a big mistake, because like a year and a half to 2 years later, he started making it big in the clubs out here locally, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, this guy Joe Rogan, he's so funny." And I was like, "Yeah, it's my sister's ex-boyfriend." And then he got that show that he did for all those years. What was the name of that show again? The one where it was like, you had to do nasty stuff, you had to eat nasty food, and you had to do like all these.
I can't
like,
remember what it is exactly. What that show?
so
Fear Factor.
You know, Fear Factor. Yeah, he got Fear Factor, and once he got Fear Factor, and he started working for the UFC, man, that was it, bro. Like, and then to top that all off, he comes out with this podcast years later, and dude, his podcast is like one of the biggest podcasts in history.
And now
already.
He's putting a big dent in YouTube, and now he's going to be going to another platform to do his show video format, because I guess crap. Hold on a second.
Tommy's got another phone call. Oh, it's Joe Rogan calling. "Hey, Tommy, what's up? This is Joe Rogan. Listen, I need a co-host bad, and I'd like to have you come on and just."
Hey, Ken, I hate to do this, buddy. I have to cut this short. I'm going to go with my mom to go headphone shopping, but thank you for coming on the show with me, man. And folks, thank you for joining.
God.
Thank you.
Buddy.
Thank you for joining the Whatever podcast.
Yeah, so we'll end it whenever. You know what I mean? Whatever,
yeah, man,
and whenever.
Whatever, dude. Like,
it's whatever. Yeah, it's whatever. I had fun. Have a good day. Find nice headphones. Go get yourself a pair of Sonys, bro.
All right, man. I will. But I'll catch you later, man. Keeping you on the inside. Fact, go check out the Foul Mouth Network. Whatever.
Fuck.